This is not an episode that is man-hating or telling you you're not good enough or you don't know how to do something and shame on you. That is not what this is. There's a lot of reasons that we miss things that we should be doing or that we could be doing to better our sex life. But if you don't know, you don't know. So tell your ego to shut the fuck up. I want you to grab a notebook. I want you to grab a pen, get cozy in a seat. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Pretty Uncomfortable podcast. I am Tara V, your new safe word, and getting you comfortable with your own discomfort is my new kink. So welcome. We're going to dive right in because, listen, I kind of went MIA for a minute and I feel really bad. I have been in a little bit of hiding because life got a little crazy, it got a little messy, and I've just been caught up with having to take care of a whole bunch of things that came at me at once, which means I neglected you guys, and that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. So we're just going to dive straight into today's episode, which I am so excited for. I have been wanting to record this episode for a few weeks now, but again, life. Fuck you, life. But finally, I'm here back in front of the microphone. So today, this episode is for you men. I want you guys to take your ego. I want you to pull it out of your pocket and go set it on a shelf somewhere and just tell it to shush for a minute and ignore it, okay? Because your ego might get a little pissed off at first with this episode. Just shush it. Just shh. It's okay. We're not picking on you. We're not saying that you're inadequate, okay? But what this episode is a list of things that many women wish that many men knew about sex. This list was compiled from some research I did online, as well as just some personal observations from all of my slutty little shenanigans. But again, tell your ego to just take a breather for a minute because this is not a dig at you. And I want to make sure, men, you understand this. This is not an episode that is man-hating or telling you you're not good enough or you don't know how to do something and shame on you. That is not what this is. In the famous words of Maya Angelou, when you know better, do better. If you don't know, you're not going to know how to make it better. Right? That's where I come in to help you know and bring to your attention some things that you might have just completely missed for whatever reason, whether that is just kind of like societal conditioning or watching too much porn, which is on this list. There's a lot of reasons that we miss things that we should be doing or that we could be doing to better our sex life. But if you don't know, you don't know. So tell your ego to shut the fuck up. I want you to grab a notebook. I want you to grab a pen, get cozy in a seat, because I am about to show you little ways that you can make some changes that could potentially blow your partner's minds, okay? I'm here to help you. I want to make you the best lovers possible because then I can be like, yeah, I'm in everybody's bedroom. I can hear everybody screaming like, oh, yes. And it's thanks to me. That's my ego talking. And also, while technically this is geared towards men, I think it is very, very, very important to understand women stick around as well, because a lot of these tips are really they can go either way. They can apply to pretty much everybody. There's very few tips on this list that are going to be like penis specific. We all can learn from some of these things, as well as a woman. You might hear one of these things on the list and it might just kind of tickle something in your mind that makes you realize like, oh, I have been feeling kind of unsatisfied, but I haven't been able to pinpoint why, what has been bothering me with my sexual relationship with somebody. And then you might hear one of these things and it hits a little trigger for you and you go, oh, maybe this is what has been bothering me or that has been lacking. And then once you know what it is, you can then work to communicate this with your partner or partners and work to make it better. So everybody pull up a chair and let's just dive straight in to one of my favorite tips, because this is one of my favorite things. But never underestimate the power of kissing. Do you hear that? Listen really close, because I'm going to repeat myself. Never underestimate the power of kissing. Oh, a good kiss, it can take me right to the moon. Like, I adore kissing. And it has been interesting for me to see over the last 3 years of dating how few men actually dedicate time to kissing. And I've had some men where I'm like, oh, it's like, is he just not going to kiss at all? I mean, it's just like they want to just bypass the lips completely. No, you got to give me a kiss, and I could have a good old-fashioned makeout session for an hour and be satisfied. Kissing gets me there. Kissing gets a lot of people there. And this was a big one that I found while poking around online. So if you find that you don't put a lot of time into kissing, start putting more time in it. And I will be shocked if your partner isn't like, oh, thank you, because kissing builds up that anticipation. It is part of foreplay. And as I've talked about in other episodes, our bodies are different from men's, right? Like, we just function differently to get to that arousal level. Men, you guys are so lucky. Like, I swear, you can just blink and boom, you're there. For many women, we need a lot more time. I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think in one of my past episodes, I did some research, and I want to say it was like 14 minutes was required to get a woman to orgasm, to get her to that arousal level. So we require more attention, which means you have to dedicate a little bit more time. You can do so much with a good kiss. Oh, you could kiss me with your hands behind your back and not even touch me and just make me melt. It's interesting for me because I have a difficult body. I've always had a hard time getting to that arousal level for an orgasm, and it takes my body forever sometimes. And I get self-conscious and I get caught in my head. Yet, if during sex somebody kisses me, and I mean kisses, not just like a quick little, but like a passionate, you want to steal my soul kiss while we are having sex, a lot of times it's either going to bring me right to the edge of an orgasm or it's going to bring me into one simply by adding a kiss to the penetration. So just don't underestimate it, and, maybe sit down and reflect for a minute and think about if you put much time into it. And if you don't, it's time to set up the kissing booth and get kissing. Number 2 on this list is to be clean. This was another top one with my research that I found, is women wanting men to be clean. And I think it's really important that you understand with hearing the words be clean. This does not necessarily mean like get in the shower, get squeaky clean. Like, I am not going to touch you unless you smell like the soap dish. You don't necessarily have to be like fresh out of the shower. It's the only time I'm going to have sex with you, because I can tell you many people really, really are attracted to that like musky scent of a man, that natural body smell. I love it. If I am into you and I smell like your natural muskiness because you've been outside or working or whatever, I want to bury my nose in you and I want to like wrap up in that smell. Like, it is hot. So I am not necessarily saying scrub-a-dub-dub in the tub and that's the only way you're going to be attractive. What I am saying is to have some basic personal care hygiene, right? Don't show up on a date stinking like BO, because there is a difference between like that musky man smell and BO. I don't want you smelling like an Italian sandwich, all right? If I want an Italian sandwich, I'm going to go to Subway, not to your armpits. So understand the difference between that kind of smell, but also the basics. Like, if you were going on a date and you had lunch and you already had dinner, or, you have the whole day in your mouth, basically. So before you go on the date, brush your teeth. I notice every man I'm with, when we go in for that first kiss, I am hyper aware of what his mouth tastes like. And I hate when it doesn't taste like toothpaste. Like, I want to know that you've put enough effort in to care about basics like that. Another thing that is so important when it comes to cleanliness with your like personal hygiene is your nails. Now listen, when we are on dates with you, you better believe our eyes, we're looking at those hands. We are inspecting your hands. I am looking at your hands while they're on the table. I'm looking at them as you pick your glass up to take a sip. I'm watching your hands. Now, in your little man mind, you are probably going, damn right, you're looking at my hands. You want to know what these hands feel like on your body? You want to know what this hand's going to feel like on your neck? No, that's not what we're thinking. Okay, scratch that. It is one of the things I'm thinking, but first and foremost, what I am doing is I am looking at your nails. Are your nails clean? Are they well manicured? Because if this date goes great and we move on further, I know what your hands could be doing to me. I know where those fingers could be. So if you don't have the basic consideration to have well-trimmed nails and clean nails, we notice that, guys. I am telling you, we notice your hands and your nails. One of the first things we're going to see. So pay attention to that. If you're somebody that works with your hands all the time with work, that doesn't mean you still can't have well manicured hands. Your nails can still be smooth. There is nothing embarrassing about a man that takes a second to like file the jagged edges off of them. That is actually sexy as fuck versus you show up with like jaggedy nails. No. I don't want those near me, in me. No. So pay attention to that. And cleanliness can also mean your surroundings, right? So pay attention. If you know you have a date coming over, or even if you're like, man, I have a pretty good idea where this date might lead, and it might lead back to my place, clean your place. At the very least, clean your bedding. That is huge. We notice things like that. I'm not saying you have to have this beautiful bed that looks like it just popped out of a catalog. What I'm saying is have clean sheets. Have your bed be made up. I don't want to walk into your room and it looks like you missed your alarm this morning and you slept an hour late and you were in a rush to get out and your blankets are everywhere and you have a pillow like half out of the pillowcase. No. I don't want to see that. I want to see that you put the effort in to impress me. I don't care if this is a casual one-nighter or if this is the kind of dating that is, you're trying to find your wife or your husband, right? This is just common courtesy. And the way you take care of yourself and your things is indicative of how you potentially could be taking care of me. So I want to see that you respect yourself. I want to see that you respect your things. I don't care if you're broke. You can still have a well-made bed. You can still have clean sheets. I don't care if you got the sheets at the Goodwill. They should still be clean. They should smell fresh laundered if you know I'm coming over. So just pay attention to those things because we see that much more than I think you realize. Number 3 is a funny one and was actually very common to find, and that was to take your socks off. Take them off. We don't want those socks on during sex. It is just weird. There's no like profound thing to say here. Just take your socks off. You took everything else off. Get the socks off. Unless you're hiding something under those socks. Did you not trim your toenails? Did you not give yourself a good little pedicure? Do you have like scary talons for nails and you're afraid you're going to scratch us or wound us with them? Okay, keep your socks on and then go home, give yourself a pedicure, smooth those nails out, and next time around, get the damn socks off, please. This next one is honestly probably, in my personal opinion, one of the most important things on this list and one that I wish I could drill into every single partner's head. And that is to not ever let your focus be on just the main event. And the main event being sex, penetrative sex, and you coming. Don't let that be your main focus because I think it is very important for you to understand. And I think not many men do understand that for women, foreplay is our main event, right? So often foreplay gets skipped and it goes straight into penetrative sex, or foreplay is like this like 3-minute thing before you jump into the penetrative sex. Just like you would be really sad if you started some sort of sexual interaction with somebody and, she got off and then got up and walked away from you, right? You would be screaming like, blue balls, how could you do this to me? Oh my God. You would be so upset if you walked away from that interaction and you didn't orgasm. Now I want you to sit. This is where I want you to like really shush that ego. Tell it to shut the fuck up for a minute. Put it in another room if you have to and close the door. I want you to really sit and I want you to really think about some of your past sexual interactions and how often did both of you walk away fully satisfied. When I say this, it is important to understand that not everybody's end goal with sex is to orgasm. It doesn't have to be, but let's be realistic. For a lot of people, it is. The unfortunate thing is, us as women have kind of been conditioned to just get to a point where we don't expect it. We don't expect to come. We don't expect an orgasm because for so long, we haven't been given that. And it's just kind of conditioned us to not expect it, which is really, really sad because as much as you want to walk away pleased, so do we. So do we. So please understand that your pleasure point and what's going to bring you there is not the same necessarily for what's going to get you there for your partner. You both might need different things. So you have got to focus on how do you get your partner there, as well as how can your partner get you there. Just remember that penetration is not the only part of sex. As women, we usually require foreplay. So dive into that. I have a lot of friends that basically their bedroom rule is you don't come until I come. It's basically, a reminder of I need you to focus on me and then let's go. Because what happens is, and this is going to lead us straight into number 5 on this list, your finish is not necessarily our finish. And I think that is so important to hear. Your finish is not our finish. What I see time and time again is you start a sexual interaction, you have sex, the man finishes, he comes, he's got his orgasm, and he's like, whoa, oh my God, that was great. And you kind of lay back and you sat in it for a minute and you're feeling good and everything is done. Like you are done. And we're sitting there like, so what about me? Because I'm not done. And the problem there is I understand that our bodies are very different, right? And so when you finish, you're sensitive, right? Your penis is like, hey, okay, listen, I did a lot of work right there. I am tired. Please don't touch me. Oh my God, please don't touch me. That's way too sensitive. You're not going to get hard again. So when you're done, you're done. I understand that. So I'm not saying like you finish, you come, now you need to get back at it, get back inside of her and do what you have to do. However, you have other things other than a penis, right? You have a mouth, you have hands. So if you have finished and you realize that your partner didn't get there and she wants to, there are other things that you can do to get her there. So roll over and grab a toy out of the drawer and use the toy on her. I promise you, we will respect you so much for that. But don't just roll over and be like, whoop, you're done. And so everything is done. What you can do, like I said, focus on your partner first. Make sure that she is satisfied before you even go in. We will respect you a lot for that as well. And I promise you, if you start working on that behavior and you start being that kind of partner, you are going to live in her memory forever. I promise you, even if you are a one night stand, if you show that you care about her pleasure and you care about her getting to that point of arousal and she's going to have an orgasm or just even no orgasm, but she just feels fucking good and she feels like her body is being worshipped and you are giving her attention, you could be a one nighter. I guarantee you on her deathbed, she is still thinking about you. She really is. You want to be the person that a partner remembers because they're like, oh, holy shit, nobody made me feel like that. Like that stands out because they made me feel so good. You don't want to live in somebody's memory because they're like, that was horrible. I never want an experience like that again. I can't believe this man made me feel this way. I can't believe he didn't care about my orgasm. Don't be that man. Be the one that all the rest of the men are like, fuck him. Are you still thinking about him? Stop thinking about him. Be that man. It really isn't that hard. Because the cool thing too with women is a lot of times we will orgasm and we can still go. Our bodies can still go. Versus, like I said, I understand your bodies can be very sensitive. Once you come, you're done, right? Like a lot of men, it's kind of a one and done, or you need a break between. You can't just jump right back in. Where our bodies, we can finish and be ready to move on to the next thing. So get me off with your hand or your mouth. Bring me to that like screaming to the gods level. And then I promise you, I want to reward you for that. And then dive into the penetrative sex, dive into your side of pleasure, where now you both are kind of getting equal fun and play. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that because I do feel like those two things are some of the top things I want you to really hang on to. So I want you to sit with that. Let it percolate until we return with the rest of the list. I'm going to conclude with the reminder that all of this is not going to pertain to all of you. Take what you can from it. Don't let your ego be hurt. Don't feel wounded. This is to help you get better. This is not to drag you down. This is to help you become a badass lover. And remember that sex should just be fun. Like, have fun with it. It should be fun for everybody, both parties or all parties if you're playing with more than one person. Like, everybody should walk away feeling pleased in whatever way that means for them. So sit with this, do some homework. If you have a partner, go do some homework, see what you can maybe improve upon to bring your partner more pleasure. If you don't have a partner, just go masturbate. Focus on your own pleasure. Learn new ways to pleasure yourself. And that way there, when you have a partner, you'll know more how you can teach them to please you, right? So that is it for today. Until next time, as always, you know I have the anonymous link where you guys can send me questions. If there's any topics you want me to discuss, you can send me questions anonymously. The link is always in my show notes. Today, I specifically would love to ask you men to hop on over to that link. Let me know what you wish women knew about sex with you, right? I want to do this episode for you also. So I want to be able to bring some stuff to the light of us women that maybe we're not aware of, that you wish we knew more of, that we did more of, that we can please you better. So if you have any pointers, come on over. Let me know in those messages. You can hit me up on Instagram in my DMs with the Pretty Uncomfortable podcast. And also start following me on YouTube, please. I have like a sad little 10 subscribers, I think. So come build my ego up. Follow me on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start recording more of these episodes where I have video also, and sometimes it will be a different version of this episode, so you might get some little extras. So be sure to follow me on YouTube as well. Pretty Uncomfortable. And as always, you know what I want you to do. I want you to get out there. I want you to be real weird, super weird. Be as weird as you can be, and then report back next week, okay? I love you guys. Okay, it's 4:13. Let's see how long it's going to take to get through this. Hello, and no. And no. Thank you, refrigerator, for your contribution to this podcast. Please let me know, because I would like to do an entire episode where we do this please let me know, because I would like, what the fuck, yo? Please let me, oh my God, what is going on?